my beloved brothers and sisters who are Christians, I kindly say, praise the Lord. To my dear brothers and sisters who are Muslims, I kindly say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To my brothers and sisters who are neither Muslims nor Christians, respect and much honor. Greetings to you all from wherever you come from, especially from my lovely continent, Africa, the entire world, and my motherland, Uganda. I thank God for the gift of life, everyone's family, nations, from wherever you come from, and wherever we are as Africans who are living in Africa as a continent, and those that are living in the diaspora. Whenever I get an opportunity, when I'm associating with my friends, families, and my workplace people, I always speak to them and encourage them to always consider it a daily ritual to thank the Heavenly Creator whenever I and them we wake up every day, when we are 1, healthy, 2, among the living, and 3, when we are free and not in these 3 places that I consider to be the most important subjects that should be taught and studied in the University of Life. These 3 places are so powerful that we humans, as we encounter the daily challenges of life, cause I consider life to be the challenge, or I consider life to be the university to every humankind that God created and placed on this wonderful planet, where each and everyone is living. I usually explain to them that if all we humans understand the true powers of these 3 places, we should be humble. We should value other people's lives. We should be desiring to create something which is developmental and impactful, other than creating wars that leads to death and killing of innocent people, that leads to exploitation of people onto their jobs in every sector where workers are needed. When we humans try to understand, or if we are taught these subjects by the teachers who has been bestowed upon knowledge and wisdom by the Heavenly Creator, and they explain well to the human race about the true powers of these 3 places, we should be humble. We should value people's lives. We should be impacting and doing or engaging in things and actions that can make this environment a beautiful place to each and everyone, other than making it a place that makes people's life worse. Everywhere we are creating wars. Whenever we create these wars, we in the office, we shall be happy, but the results are affecting our brothers and sisters who are innocent and ignorant about what is going across. So it's our deepest desires to embark on a journey that can help our brothers and sisters to live a meaningful life and an impactful life, other than creating divisions among people through certain things that are driven by our selfish desires. You know, we are in a generation where people no longer defend what is right. Our main focus is we defend people, we defend friends, and we defend ideas, people whom we benefit from, or we feel we shall benefit from. Even though they are wrong, we consider them to be right. And we support ideas that encourage manipulative tactics. But so long as they are going to fulfill our selfish desires, we embark on them. I say, my dear brothers and sisters, let's embark on the journey that we teach people, our brothers and sisters, to understand the true powers of these three places. That I usually encourage my brothers and sisters that whenever we wake up every day, when we are healthy, living, and free, let's consider it a total ritual to thank God in those aspects of life. Because these three places are really good places, and at the same time are real dangerous places. So, as the university of life that all we humans are, we have to be keenly taught about their true powers. Because if we gain the real insight about these places, humanity will behave in a way that love each other. Humans should behave in a way that feel valuable about life of each and everyone. Whoever, you don't benefit directly from that person, but the moment I and you know that the people I'm associating with are humans like me, we should have that sensitivity. We should feel empathy about them. What are these three places that I'm trying to talk about? Because if we understand these three places, we shall understand life. Because life is a good thing to each and every humanity. But when we inflict pain, when we inflict certain measures, life becomes a difficult thing for each and everyone. So our main purpose should be, how should we make life much easier for each and everyone? So it's our responsibility, individual responsibility, to take accountability and be responsible for whatever is going to happen on this wonderful planet that God designed and beautified for us. Because it's our responsibility, because God gave us the what? That will and courage. Let's talk about these three places that I'm trying to tell, or that I usually explain to my brothers and sisters that I associate with. The first place that should be studied is the hospital. Sometimes I try to tell my brothers and sisters that if I try to be selfish in my own understanding, when the heavenly creator gives an opportunity and asks a question to our brothers and sisters who are in the hospital, what would they mean at the moment? In my selfish understanding and wisdom, I believe and imagine that those in hospital ask God for good health. The second place I'm trying to talk about is the cemetery or the graveyard. Each and every day we bury people. But every time when we wake up, when I and you, we are among the living, it's a great honor to consider it a total ritual so that we can thank God for this wonderful gift. Because once we try to understand the real powers of the cemetery, we should value people. We should be humble. We should be thinking about creating things that can impact the future generation, the present generation, other than creating divisions among people, other than creating wars, other than creating unnecessary chaos that leads the disorganization of people's lives and people's welfare. And what the sad place that I want to talk about is the prison. The prison is the dangerous place. Humans who are in the prison, in my own understanding and selfish imagination, as I said earlier, when the heavenly Creator appears to our brothers and sisters who are in the prison and ask them, what would they mean? To me, I think these people would say they need their freedom. Of course, these people has life, but they have limited lives. The life they have is limited to a certain place. Once you study these three places, those in hospital would request for good health. Those in graveyard would say or would request for another chance for living, or they would request for life. Those in the prison would request for life without limitation. Once you combine these three answers that humans in these three places would do request, you think that it is generalized to a certain term called life without limitations. So, as we pray for them good health, to rest in eternal peace, as we pray for those our brothers and sisters who are in prison, to have fair judgment upon their lives, us who are not in those places, we have to thank God. And those who are in those places have to trust God in each and every situation, because through God everything can be possible. Those in the graveyard, we pray that may God have mercy upon them and they rest in the eternal paradise. Those in the hospital, we pray and we wish the God's mighty hand to cover the doctors so that they can do the needful and recover our brothers and sisters' life into good health. And those that are in the prison, they have fair judgment and fair treatment as when they are serving their sentence that has been given to them. Because once we try to study and understand these three places as the university or the subjects that should be totally taught and studied by each and every human, we shall study that those in the hospital, there is no specific age that is destined to be in the hospital. Because in the hospital, there are people of my size, your size. In the hospital, there is every category of people. There is every category. Because no matter your status, no matter your color, no matter your religious belief, no matter your political ideology, the hospital or none of us is above being in the hospital. In the hospital are people who are presidents. In the hospital are even doctors that heal or that help those who are suffering to get treatment. Even them are there. In the hospital, are young children in the hospital, are religious people in the hospital, are bankers in the hospital. There is every category of people in the hospital. So it's not that those in the hospital are those that are filled with bad manners. Everyone can be in the hospital at any time, because there is no specific time that this one and I or anyone is going to be in the hospital. It just happened. But still, we have the opportunity to immunize ourselves from certain illness that can make us go in the hospital. For instance, as the youth, we are advised to abstain from sex, because once we experience this act, there are certain diseases or there are certain sicknesses that are going to affect us and that will make us go in the hospital. So some of the diseases that take us in the hospital, we can avoid them. So let's try to understand the people who are in the hospital, the situation that they go through, the situations that they live by. How do they feel? Let's feel empathetic for them. If we feel empathetic for them, let's picture ourselves when we are in that place. What would we mean to see that our life is moving? So let's not take it as a blasphemy to those our brothers and sisters who are in the hospital, but let's join our hands. If we have things that can support them, let's go and support them in whatever thing they would need. Because in the hospital there are people, because the hospital doesn't have respect that only those who have money are the ones who are in the hospital. The hospital doesn't have respect that if I or anyone is poor, doesn't be in the hospital. In the hospital are people with money. In the hospital are people who don't have facilities. So if God has blessed us through our own ability, let's bless others. Let's go in the hospital. Let's make a day. If you feel like you have anything, go and move in the hospitals. Because it's free in each and African countries to go and visit what? The hospitals. Because African problems are the same. Those that we face in our nation, Uganda, are the ones that our brothers and sisters in Kenya, Senegal, Democratic Republic of Congo are facing. So as an African nation, let's empower each other as brothers and sisters to see that this place, we make it a beautiful place where to live. The second place that if we can study its true power, we can be humble, is the graveyard. As I said earlier, that if these people get any opportunity, because even us among the living, there is a time when you feel that when God gives you the opportunity among your beloved people who have died to make them back to life. There are people whom we have lost and they are still on our hearts. None of us is beyond being in the graveyard. There is no specific time that I'll be in the graveyard. Today I might be speaking to you, tomorrow I might be gone. But the most important thing is, what have I learned? Every time when I move and I pass through the graveyard. Once we try to study the graveyard, we can be humble. We can value people's lives. Because in the graveyard are 9-month children, those that haven't made it to life. In the graveyard are presidents, because we have a lot of people who we have seen their day. For instance, there is a certain president, to me, I consider the greatest president that ever lived in the generation where I was born, the late Nelson Mandela of South Africa. He was a great leader. We as a nation the entire continent and the whole world. We witnessed his characters. We witnessed his impact and influence that he made on this wonderful universe. He is no more. He is in the graveyard. So, being in the graveyard, it doesn't mean that those who are filled with bad manners are those ones who are in the graveyard. In the graveyard, we are not the wisest. That if you become wise, you are above being in the graveyard. We have studied about the people who were considered to be wise in each and every generation. We talk about the Socrates, Albert Einstein. All those people are in the graveyard. So, being wise does not make you above being in the graveyard. We have seen very many powerful people, people who consider themselves powerful. We have studied about the likes of Napoleon Bonaparte of France. We studied about the Benito Mussolini of Italy, Adolf Hitler of Germany. These people were so powerful, but they are no longer living with us on this beautiful planet. So, being powerful doesn't mean that you will not leave this place, but when your time comes, you have to leave. So, we have to be careful. We have to study each and everything. We have to study these places. Let's not go in these places feeling sorry because we have lost our brothers and sisters. None of us has not lost any relative. I myself, I lost my father. I lost my grandparents. My brother and sister. I have lost so many friends. So, some of them were in my age. Some of them were above my age. Some of them were still children that we grew up with. But they are no more. So, it's not that my age, I have not reached that age of being in the graveyard. So, in the graveyard, there is not respect for each and everyone. So, if we try to study in the graveyard, there are powerful people. There are people of whatever status, religious leaders. In each and every country, we lose religious leaders who are powerful. They are all in the graveyard. So, there is no certain level that once you are in this and this category of people, you will not die. Everyone has to die. But as we human beings, why do you kill your innocent brothers and sisters? After all, you know that at a certain time, you are going to leave this place. So, if we try to understand and study life and these three subjects that we have to study at this University of Life, let's be humble. Let's respect each other. Let's value each other. Because it is through respect, it is through valuing each other that this place will be a comfortable place for each and everyone. But if we think we are so powerful, we can do each and everything that we feel, we can lead to death of many people that we feel because we are powerful. Let's remember that our time too will come and we shall be questionable about how we use our time. So let's be humble. Let's value each other. Let's respect each other. It is through respect that we are going to create a culture that favor each and everyone, that make this planet a beautiful planet for each one. Other than whenever we don't respect people, whenever we don't value people, we shall be inventing ways of creating conflicts among our brothers and sisters who are innocent. Everywhere, wars, we have made wars to be part of our culture. All this leads to death of innocent people. Yet, those who have started these wars, for them, They are enjoying life. So let's value each other, because it's through valuing each other. Let's put in ourselves in shoes that today we are doing what we are doing because we have life. But is it worth it that once you have life, you are in the position of causing other people to die? If you know that people who were once powerful than we have already left, even us in this generation who are considering ourselves to be powerful, we are going to leave. But the most important thing is, once we leave, what legacy are we leaving behind? Let's study this subject so well that we shall make this planet a wonderful planet for each and everyone, for the generation we are in and the generation that is going to follow. Let's learn from the mistakes of our forefathers. If they were always fighting, let's learn that this fighting did not take them anywhere. Instead, they caused them much harm of losing their beloved brothers and sisters. Let's not adopt that kind of lifestyle. Let's embrace and let's adopt a culture where each and everyone would be safe, would be happy, and would enjoy. At least, if you can't love someone, wish them well. Instead, don't do anything that can cause harm to your brother. It is through understanding this subject that we shall make this place a beautiful place, and our brothers and sisters would be happy to live wherever they feel like, through understanding this subject of the graveyard. The next subject that we talk about life in, or that should be studied in the university of life, is the prison. In the prison are our brothers and sisters who did not commit any crime, but because we understand the unfairness of the world, they are there desiring for freedom. Of course, prison is good because they are our brothers and sisters who malfunction. Because when the Creator made everything, He made it perfect. But when people start to malfunction, others, they need to be taken in the prison. Because to be sincere with you, how can you kill your own brother? Because you are fighting for properties. How can you kill your father? How can you kill your mother? Those desires will lead us to prison. But still in prison, they are innocent people. People who have been taken to prison by those who consider them powerful. Because there is a certain level where people consider themselves powerful, that they can take anyone in the prison, those that they feel they have to grab their properties over them, and the process, because they are so rich that they can pay money in whatever circumstance, they end up arresting these innocent mothers, these innocent grand people, and these people are in prison. So let's value each other, because once you value each other, once you sit down and learn and study how the prison operates, I don't think no one would desire for our brothers and sisters to be taken there without any offense. But because of the unfairness, because of our hatred over one another, people desire to be in prison when they really desire. It's not good to arrest someone who doesn't have a crime. For instance, in our political ideologies, because the moment we allow multi-party democracy, it means that you have given freedom to those to compete with you. Because even if we are in football matches, for us and those brothers and sisters who love football, there are always two opponents. There is no match that is going to be played when there is only one team. Of course, you are going to be challenged, but at the moment, you are going to have a fair football. And at the end of the day, if you win, you are given your trophy peaceful, or you are given your 3 points, or whatever point it might be. But after playing the match. And once you are in the match, you are not allowed to cause danger to your opponent, because you need points. So I call upon all African leaders that let's be fair. If we allow elections to be held, let's allow each other to participate. Let's value other people's lives. Let's not be source of causing disaster to families, because we are considering other opponents threat to us. Let's love one another. If we don't agree with you, it doesn't mean that we are enemies. Let's fight for the common goal. Let's have a national vision in whatever country it may be, because every generation has a responsibility to make sure that the environment they are living in, the political environment is good. So let's create an environment that can favor each and everyone, other than creating an environment that causes division among our innocent people and people who doesn't have knowledge, but they just follow. So let's be an exemplary to our leaders. Let's not arrest people in a way that is not good. Let's have them to participate, but in a fair way. So I encourage also our dear brothers and sisters, let's follow the rules and regulations that are placed in place in whatever thing that we are going to do. Because in prison, I myself, being in the police, you may go there when you don't really have a real crime, but even these police people has to treat people fairly. Because one day I was arrested not knowing that moving beyond 8 p.m. is not allowed. So as I came outside of the taxi, wanted to cross to go to my home place, I was seized by policemen who told me that it's against law to move at this time. So I was arrested and taken in the detention center. And it costed me time from that point up to 11 p.m. when I'm still in that detention center. Many other people were brought in that detention center, and we were always told that anytime a pickup is going to come for us and take us to another big police or prison where they will remove us and take us to a court. And in myself I was asking, what have I done? Just moving at 8, because I was from somewhere going to my home. But I learned a lesson when I was in that detention center. Many of my brothers were brought, others they were with poison bags when they were from workplace. They had bread in their, they had sugar, as a testimony that they were from work going home. And they tried to explain that because we didn't have money for transport, we decided, let's move, let's walk. If you can see clearly someone with the testimony that this person is from work, he is going to his home, we know the situation that we are living in, because we have to be understanding to each other. You look at me, I don't have any crime. I'm trying to explain to you, it's still early. I thank those who helped me, because good enough I was allowed to make calls, and at 11 p.m. I was managed to come and rescued. But in my mind I kept going home and asking myself, what will happen to my brother that I have left there? Because some of them were arrested just moving, because the detention center was on the road. So you are just removed from the road and you are brought to this detention center. Good enough, I hope some of them, because they were brought when they don't have even airtime. They were caught unaware, as I was caught too. Good enough, if every day I walk, my phone is always having airtime. So I whoever wanted to call, I gave them airtime to call so that they can inform their beloved ones. So, but me, I took it as a lesson, because when I was in that detention center, I was the first one to be brought in that detention center. At the time it was 10 p.m., we were already 5 people in that detention center. Others were slapped. But because some of my time I'm usually silent, I kept silent and I kept watching. Good enough, I was left to be with my phone. So I was on internet. I was on internet doing my work while I was in the detention center. So those who tried to explain themselves, others were slapped, because these police officers were so rough. They didn't want to hear from anyone. One of the brothers was from the school. He was going home, a young boy. He was arrested, and he was not granted any access to explain himself. The only thing they argued was, let's wait for the pickup and taken to another police station. But that police station, in fact, to be fair, they were promising us, to be fair, that let's wait for the pickup and they drop us to Kira police station. But we kept asking, why? What have we done? But these people were so serious that it is against law to move on northern bypass beyond 8 p.m. So we request our brothers and sisters who are police men and women to be fair. Let's consider us. It's fine, you have arrested me, but try to understand me. If you see that we don't have a crime that I have done, why all that? Because not all brothers and sisters who are arrested that day, and that was only one day, but these people, it's not that day that they are there. They are always there. I understand that once the place is risky for any nation to move by at that time, once the government decides to bring a police station in that place, they should act as protector so that people can move in that place so safely. But there is no moment, or they create an environment that people have to start fearing that place even when the authorities are present. Now, what is what? We have to consider each and every one, because there are a lot of stories that I heard from my brothers and sisters, especially my brother that I was arrested with. But in each and every African country, those are the situations that we are going through. But let's study these 3 places. Let's study these subjects of life, because these 3 subjects of life, they are not far within us each and every day. We live by, we pass them by. So if you get an opportunity, try to go in the hospital. If you get an opportunity, try to visit the graveyard. If you get an opportunity, try to visit your brothers and sisters who are in the prison, because not everyone who is in prison is or has a crime, but because of the unfairness of the world, these people are there. Let's embrace life, because the most important thing on this universe is life. One of the wisest king of Israel said these words, anyone among the living has hope. Even a live dog is better off than a dead lion. What was this king's statement trying to mean? Because we all understand one of the wisest person was King Solomon. But King Solomon tried to say these words. We all know how powerful a lion is. We know the characteristics of a lion. But once the lion is no more, even a living dog. So we are only as important, we are only as valuable every day we wake up when we are among the living. So being powerful does not mean that you are going to live on this planet forever. So the king was trying to tell us about the meaning or the importance of being alive. So we have to respect each and every one. We have to respect, we have to value each and every one. If we don't agree on something, it doesn't mean we have to fight. If we don't agree on something, It doesn't mean we have to disrespect each other. Let's give respect for each other. Let's promote that oneness within us, because it is through this oneness that we shall feel empathetic for each other. Let's be humble. Let's value people's lives, because it's through valuing people's lives that we shall make this planet a good living place for each and everyone, because we are going to leave this place, but this place is not going to end. We shall go, but the generation is as it was. Our forefathers lived, and now it's our time. The most important thing is, what are we going to leave behind? What impactful thing are we focusing at creating? Are we trying to cause much harm? Are we trying to create ways that devalue people? Are we trying to cause ways that cause wars, death of innocent people? Let's value each other. It is through valuing each other that we shall learn to negotiate with those brothers and sisters whom we don't agree with. Because it takes two people to cause a war. But once we try to understanding, because not every time that we are going to be superior to each other. Let other part be weak and other part consider be powerful. In the name of loving our brothers and sisters, in the name of loving our other nations, in the name of loving this planet, this place we can make it a beautiful place, and especially we can make Africa a beautiful continent where to live for each and every brother in each part. It's our responsibility as the youth and each and everyone in every nation that make up Africa, not only as Africa, but every place where we live, in other continents, Europe, America, Asia, because we are living in a globalized world. What happens in another continent affects what the rest of the continents. So it's our responsibility as the humans to take accountability and responsibility for whatever is going to happen, so that we can be held accountable. If what we choose to create is wars, we are going to lead to the killing and the death of innocent people. But if we come to close the conflicts and wars that we create, it means that people are going to live happily in whatever part they do what they try to live in. So our main focus as the INASA group, we say, let's love, grow together step by step. That's our main motto. We need to love each other, so that in the process of loving each other, we are going to grow. Growth doesn't happen in one day, but it is a step by step journey. We cannot be the ones who are going to fulfill, but if we lay a foundation for a generation, people would fulfill this mission. We say, let's love each other. Let's be one. It is through unity. Africa, we say, it's our time to rise up. It's our time to rise up, but there is no way we are going to rise up if we don't study these three subjects that is going to be considered in this university of life. Let's study them. Let's be humble. Let's be peaceful. Let's respect each other, because it's through respect that this nation would be a wonderful place where to live. We always say that if you love us, if you love what we are doing, don't usually thank us. But for us, we say, pick 3 statements that you have gained from this wonderful teaching and teach that 3 statements to 5 people. And instead of thanking us, let those 5 people teach it to another 5 people, and those 5 people to teach it to another 5 people. We love you so much. For God and our country, we love you so much. Africa, it's our time. Divided we fall, united we stand. Ash, brotherhood, spirit. We love you all. God bless you all.